Welcome back to ACC Tip-Off, presented by Ally.
We are back inside the Hilton, Uptown Charlotte, in Charlotte, North Carolina. We are welcoming you back to ACC Tip-Off, presented by Ally.
Take over. I just saw Joel Berry walk in just a second ago. But let's talk about Notre Dame, because they earned a share of the ACC regular season title last season. Reached their fourth straight Sweet 16, finishing 28-6 with big wins over number 2 UConn, number 3 USC, and number 4 Texas during the regular season. And we're getting set to talk to the ACC reigning Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year as well, Hannah Hidalgo, back for her junior year, averaged nearly 25 points per game, excellent on defense as well, which just seems to fuel her even more. And how about new players? 3 players selected in the 2025 WNBA draft. The Irish bring in 7 new faces to South Bend.
So again, we say what are our coming games for the upcoming season in November.
97 starts over
and of course, December and January of the new year of 2026. And I'm pretty sure
Notre Dame, or some notable non-conference games anyways. They've got Michigan, Ole Miss, USC, and that is all before ACC play even starts. And then in January, got some good ones as well, including one that I know we are all excited to see. January 19th, they're going to be traveling to UConn. Should be a great game there, but we are excited now to sit down and talk with Hannah Hidalgo.
And now let's join our players.
Hello,
especially my favorite number 1 player, Hannah Hidalgo, alongside with her, Cassandra Prosper.
You and the expectations, obviously, coming in.
And these two are my favorite players on our Notre Dame Fighting Irish women's college basketball team. And they're joining the show. And while they're interviewing right now. So let's listen in.
My foundation, my support system is always here to support me. So just they're able to take the load off me when I need it. You know, there's always a lot of noise and a lot of talk and
Hannah Hidalgo again
things like that. So
is
just,
my favorite number 1
trusting in God
player.
first and then relying on my support system.
Cassandra, you have to be grounded to play at Notre Dame. You have to have a servant's heart to play the game the way Neil wants to play it. What are some of the things that you have done to improve your game? Because everybody's talking about you have had an off season where you were on campus and you're ready to go.
I am. I think I've really focused on being consistent. I think consistent with my shot, consistent finishing at the basket. I think also with taking a bigger leadership role, I've been able to really step into being assertive on the court and just being confident, leading by example, and really embracing, what this year has for me. And I'm really excited, especially stepping into a bigger role. It's going to be really fun.
Hannah, there's only been 3 ACC players who have won both the ACC Player of the Year and ACC Defensive Player of the Year, Lindsey Harding and Monica Wright. And so one of the things that I love watching is your passion and the joy that you have on the defensive end. And Coach Ivy was talking about joy, that's what she's seen from the players all off season as you guys have been in the gym. Take us into your head a little bit when you're on the defensive end and you're wreaking havoc when you're at the point of attack. What's going through your mind when someone's bringing the ball up the floor?
Yeah, I think just taking pride, and I don't want the person that I'm guarding to score on me, and just I feel like it's a little embarrassing, if we're guarding somebody and they score on us, low-key, so I'm I don't want to be the one that, lets my player score, and so just taking pride in making sure that I'm knocking down my defender. And I want to run in transition, I want to play fast, so that involves me getting stops, and then make my teammates load, lighter. When I'm picking up full court, I'm making them turn the ball over. It's okay, I don't got to do too much work. I know Sonny talked a lot about it last year, she'll just sit back over half court and let me steal the ball and just go, and she could just, catch a break, and so, it's always good hearing that.
Cass, how does that fuel you guys too? That defensive mindset and tenacity that she has, and then that carries over to the tenacity.
Also, my Notre Dame women's basketball team,
I've heard number 1. I think offensively and defensively, I think defensively she's always played with such a fire, and we have to level up and play with that same intensity. And because she's doing it out on the court, we want to do it for her as well because she's doing it for us.
Hannah, I want to ask you about the new hot stove foul defensive change, okay? Where you can touch more than once. Okay?
Love it.
Yeah, okay.
Love it.
So tell me, in your mind, with your quick feet and your ability to poke as much as you want, how much you're really spending on trying to be a pest?
Yeah, I think I think you can't really take a break on defense. And, especially, watching the W a lot. And I know Paige talked about, you got to play with fouling, in the W. And I think just playing with that aggression, it helps me a lot because I'm able to be more physical. And, a lot of ball handlers, they don't like physicality like that. When you're all up on them and making them uncomfortable, it's like, because now as a point guard, you got to run the team while having all this pressure on you. So that makes it difficult. And I know that as a point guard. So I try and make sure I make all other point guards feel like that.
This is going to become the Hannah Hidalgo role.
That's what I'm calling it.
Because you were going to be the poster child for that for sure. But Cass, when you take a look at this roster, you guys lost a lot, right? Citron, Westbeld, and King. And that was a lot of leadership, not just like productivity on the floor, but a lot of leadership in the locker room as well. Like, who stepped up as leaders on this team? And for both of you, who undoubtedly are going to be the leaders, like, what does that look like? What are some of the things that you were doing?
Again, we have incoming transfers.
Yeah,
we have Melia Coles, Vanessa,
DG,
and
but it's about,
Iana
embracing everyone's perspective. And, everyone is, we're 3 returners, but everyone has a different side to, they have experience, and being able to take it all in and just really just make sure everyone's embrace and perspective is put in front in terms of leadership. And that's what we've been focused on this year.
You mentioned 3 returners, and KK, I know, is someone that we are all excited to see healthy again and competing. Cass, for you first, what's it been like to have her out there, and what are we going to get to see from her?
Oh my goodness, I am so happy. First of all, I'm really happy for her. She deserves to be back on the court. She's spent this past year really focusing on her health, and having her, she's such a positive voice. She's always been a great teammate, but now she gets to really do that on the court for us. And great. She's stepped up big time leadership-wise on the court. She's thriving right now. She's doing really good at practice. So I'm excited for everyone to see, and I'm just really proud of her.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I was just talking to KK about how excited I am to have her back on the team. I think KK she's just so smart. She knows the game so well. She knows, to be in the right positions at the right time, to cut back doors. She just plays the game so smart. And just what she brings to the team, chemistry-wise. I feel like if you look up the word chemistry in the dictionary, I feel like KK is, that X factor. She really brings it for us. And, we just love having her back. We're so excited.
Hannah, I want to ask you about, you're the dominant point guard on this roster. You'll have the ball in your hands. Iana Moore's skill set alongside yours. What will we see? Because she's a double-figure scorer coming
So
out
as
of Vanderbilt.
I mentioned that our team will take on the Ole Miss Rebels on December 4th at 9 p.m. on ESPN2. That's going to be a big
just
game.
What she brings is going to be, unlike anybody else. I think she was a great pickup for us, and I think we'll bounce
And
off
once
each
again,
other, off each other really well.
our
So I'm excited.
incoming transfers, we have Melia Coles, Vanessa, Jesus, and Iana.
So you brought in some newcomers that have experience playing at the NCAA level. Like, what are some of the things that you do in the off season to start bringing them in to teach them what the Notre Dame culture is and what expectations are at your institution?
Absolutely. I think we are learning from each other. We're finding meaning kind of like an encyclopedia. We're finding meaning in our words, in our habits, in our past experience, and in the team. How do we want to thrive this year? How do we want to experience this year together as a team and grow together? And that's what we've been really focused on, and really just like learning from each other, learning through practices. What would you add?
I think that's a great point. I think just being really intentional with spending time with each other off the court. I talked to Maya Moore, and she was just telling me, with her team, they were family first, and they love playing with each other because they were friends outside of just, on the court. And that was, something that's so big, and something that we're trying to be more and more intentional about is just building that chemistry, off the floor. When you have a family, it makes you want to run through a wall for them even more and play so much harder for them. And so that's what we're trying to do.
I mean, what's going on here? She's talking about the dictionary. She's talking about encyclopedia. I'm wondering if we're playing some sort of word game, because is the Dewey Decimal System in play?
They're actually getting in the books.
Yeah, they're studying over there.
They nailed it.
Notre Dame brain.
You guys, I know, big picture, it's all about what the team goals are, and there are a lot of individual things that you guys have checked off as well. But as you get ready for this season, for both of you, are there goals that you have set for yourself and goals that you guys are already saying out loud with the team?
Yeah, actually, we just had a retreat where we kind of went over, our goals of the team and kind of what we want to accomplish. And, everybody had, great input. And, I think for our, of course, our biggest thing is taking pride in our defense first. We're going to have to be defensive-minded and be just aggressive on defense. So, we're really excited for that, just, locking into defense and then winning, I think is, the biggest thing for us. And I think for every team is, we want to win. Everybody wants to win. But really locking in to how to win, the right way to win and how we're going to do it. And I think for me, just being a better leader, for my teammates, I've been led, and now that I am an upperclassman, I've figured out and am still figuring out how to lead my teammates.
Even though she looks like she's 12.
Right? You just said I'm looking older.
I was 11 last week.
Kassan is taller. You look, Coach Ivy
out
was
there on
telling me
that
she's
court, and
taller.
you're like, man, it's crazy. Guys, thank you for the time. Looking forward to seeing what you're
We'll
able
be
to do this
looking
season.
forward to watch our Notre Dame Fighting Irish women's college basketball
Appreciate it.
teams in the games in the upcoming season in November.
Tip off.